Well, hello there, everybody. DaRoninEnigma here, and welcome. Welcome to room 303. This is going to be a bit of a different experience for me because I helped create room 303. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the door here in just a moment. I'll talk you through the creative process a little bit, and yeah, and then we'll talk about the ending. A little bit. All right, let's go inside.
Oh God, no, please, no. Fix this.
All right, so our little friend told us we got to fix this. All right, we know what that means. I mean, if you played the game, you know what it means, and you also know how tricky that can be, and I'll explain that in a moment. First thing I want to do is I want to explain a couple of things. First of all, how cool is this? How cool is this? Now, I understand that for you watching this video right now, you can't tell why this is cool, but I can tell you right now this is telling the actual time it is. And when you play the game, take a look at this clock. It will line up with your time, okay? Just so you know. Second item, and yeah, I didn't even realize it until watching some content that there should be a door here, a bathroom. We'll just say there's a community bathroom out there that everybody has to share. Remember, we had to create this in 7 days. We had 7 days to put this thing together. And we created the game specifically for a game jam, which we won, by the way. We did win first place in that game jam. But little things like a bathroom door might get overlooked, which happened. It's fine. It's fine. There's a bathroom out here to the left. The construction didn't get this room done right. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's just pick this up right now. All right, lamps up.
Okay, think. Stop blinking. Stop blinking.
Okay. So the next step. There we go. We put the light bulb in and flick the switch.
What do I do? What do I do next?
Fix it.
All right, so
Shut up.
it's weird talking and hearing myself talk at the same time in the background. So we're still working on fixing it. Now, all right, let me just do this real quick, okay? Let me just do this. I'll tell you the Easter egg here. All right? This is actually a screenshot from our last indie game we entered for a game jam. A little game called Of Man and War. That was the first game jam we entered, and we finished second place in that one. This was our second game jam with Room 303. And again, we did win, so we're very happy about that. And we got a pretty good track record when it comes to these things. So that's a little Easter egg spoiler about that. I want to talk to you guys about...
Damn it.
Yeah, okay.
Fix it.
I'm trying.
So as you can see, our protagonist here has said, damn it. Damn it, of course, denoting that I picked up the TV, but it isn't on. That may be something easy to overlook, the fact that the TV isn't on. Yeah. So, for those of you that have played Room 303 and wandered around like this, and like this, and like this, and jumping on the bed, and playing the guitar, and picking up the coffee mug, and turning off and on the lights. On. Back on. Okay. For those of you that have done that, yeah, I know. This is probably the hardest and most frustrating part. And I'm going to walk you right over to it. It's right here. Okay?
What happened here?
There we go.
What happened? What have I done? No. I didn't do this.
All right, let me tell you a little bit about the voice. So, in order to get it right, because I tried it a couple of times without doing anything really special, and it didn't feel right. So what I did was I stayed awake for hours, which was way too many, and I watched horror movies, and I watched some scary TV shows, just trying to bug my mind out, trying to get myself into a kind of an odd place. And once I realized I'd gotten to that place, once I got there and felt that, okay, this is starting to feel really weird, and I'm feeling kind of disconnected from life, I induced hyperventilation. So I started breathing rapidly, and I kept going like that for 5-6 minutes until I had a hard time not doing it. Then I recorded the lines that you hear.
I didn't do this. I know I didn't. I don't understand.
Yes, you do.
Leave me alone.
And for our little monster voice, the little voice you're hearing there that's kind of guiding us along our path here, I used a little bit of special effects, as you can tell with that, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that voice.
God. Oh, God, please. No. Oh, no. Not now. Not now. Go away.
All right, so
No way.
I'm going to go to the door. I'm going to answer it because I was told to. And this is one of the few moments in the game where it felt really cool to see people's reaction to this.
It's not real. It's not real.
All right, so this guy looks familiar. In case you haven't been over at this end of the room at any point, bit of a resemblance going on there. Okay, yeah, I understand it. I get it. I know. I wrote it. Trying to remember the sequence here. Okay, we're gonna do this. Oh, you know what else I love? Okay, guys, those of you that have created content, I love this. Okay, when you guys do this, you walk up to this guy and you try to spray him to clean his shirt. It's a really nice thing. Nice of you to do that. I'm sure he really appreciates it. All right, you hear the phone, right? Yeah. And yes, this is a phone. I know a lot of people think it's an alarm clock. It's a phone. It's a phone. If you look closely, you can see the number pad right there. Okay.
Hello?
What did we do?
What do you mean?
What did we do?
I don't.
Okay. So let me explain. I'll give you a spoiler here, okay? I will spoil something. Both participants in that phone call are the same person. Okay? Just so you know.
The end game is now.
All right. So, end game is now. You probably know what happens next. And I want to explain something really quick. I noticed that when you hit this, for some people, it wasn't displaying what's going to show up for me. It was coming up blank. And I think that's due to the lower graphics settings. The game has 3 options. And I think on the lower settings, it wasn't able to display the reflection that you're going to see. Or at least that's what I found when I tested it earlier today. Because I couldn't figure it out. When I was watching videos, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. So before I recorded it, I tested it on the lowest settings, and it did it to me too. So if you have the ability to play it on the highest settings, I recommend you do so.
No, that's not possible. This is impossible.
Reset.
All right. Now, I've seen 50, maybe 60, maybe, reactions to what just happened there. And I'll tell you a little story, okay? So, when we were closing up development of the game, Joey, whose name you see here, Joey Neiman, told me we had a little bit of time left, and I could implement, we might have some time to implement a couple of the alternate segments that I had prepared for the game, which was a segment before these events and a segment after these events. And upon playing the build, because what we did was we basically, and it's the same thing we do with any of our projects, we pass our work back and forth. As he builds it, I test it and go back with feedback. And then I start building, either the any recordings that need to be done, that kind of thing, tweaks to the script, stuff like that. So we just play off each other as we build these projects. And when I got to the build, which is the current build that we have here, and played it, I realized that I loved it just the way it was. I didn't want to explain any further, and I didn't want to get into anything that happened prior. To me, Room 303 feels like a piece of art. You can interpret it however you want. Some people will love it. Some people will hate it. Some people will be just kind of in the middle and not really be bothered either way. And the best part is all three of you will be right. You'll all be right when it comes to your opinion and what you think took place, what your interpretation of how this ended comes out. You own that at this point, and that's kind of what I wanted. After playing that build, I thought, no, we're perfect. This is good. Let's leave it alone and let it stand on its own 2 feet and be what it is. Let's not take everybody by the hand and walk them through what we tell them is the ending. Let's just leave that open-ended and see how it plays out. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing to see what kind of stuff you guys have been coming up with your concepts and ideas of what you think really happened. That being said, there is more to tell when it comes to Room 303. And I'll have more to say about that in a little while. If you stay close to my channel, I'll probably release something to let you guys know what's going on. But we've heard your pleas, and you haven't heard the last of Room 303. So just keep that in mind. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll reply to you. Comments, that kind of stuff. Just let me know. Just let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any concerns or questions, and I'll be happy to take a look at that. But thanks for joining us in this adventure playing Room 303. It's been a wonderful thing for us, and we thank you so very much. So until the next time, this is DaRoninEnigma saying goodbye.